Welcome back, everyone, to the Families Fly Free podcast. So, today I've got a special bonus episode for you where I'm going to be bringing on some different members of my Families Fly Free membership to share their experience in the membership, how they feel it's been helpful to them and their families, and then any recommendations for people who are new to the idea of flying their family free and kind of what they wished they had known when they were first getting started. So today I have with me Kristin Phillips. So Kristin has been a member since September 2020. Kristin, I'm going to let you just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
Okay. Well, yeah, my name's Kristin. I live outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and I have three young children, almost 3, 5, and 7. I work full time and we have a busy family life, but I love to travel. Prior to getting married and having kids, I got to visit every continent except for, Antarctica. But I got to do a lot of travel. Since having kids, obviously that presents some greater complications. So I'm always looking for ways to be able to do that. And as my kids get a little older, I'm really looking forward to incorporating more travel as it gets easier.
But I was going to say the membership, while it's really works for, even one person to two people, it's designed to also work for families of 4,
Mm.
5, and 6, because you do need a lot more miles and points
Right,
once you don't have any babies that are flying free, right?
right,
With that require no points. So that's the idea of it is so that everyone can have enough points and that it's not so difficult. So
right.
it's pretty simple for, like, you're a super busy mom,
Yeah.
working full time, and you don't want to spend tons of time, searching for award availability and all this. So let's talk about why you decided to join the membership,
Hmm.
and how you feel it's been most helpful for your family.
Yeah. So I do have like we just talked about, I do have this goal. So my goal as my kids get a little older is to start doing at least one trip a year and possibly like an international trip every other year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have been, again, I talked about for a long time, I've been following different travel bloggers. That's how I got introduced to you, was through
Mm-hmm.
another blogger. Um, and but I did find that your program, your content was most helpful for that, the families, because the other people I followed were kind of more like luxury, most value, how can you fly Etihad first class cabin, to Abu Dhabi. I don't know.
And there's a lot
Um,
of single people out there blogging.
yes,
It's
and
a lot
they,
easier if there's just one
paragraphs,
person, right?
right? Paragraphs about the champagne you can get, and I was just like, that sounds amazing, but that's not exactly, you know, this is. I would read them and then I would just feel bad about my life, but not quite. But you know what I mean. It just wasn't that helpful.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so that the opportunity came up to join your membership, and I don't know, I kind of just decided to go for it and see kind of, just try it, I guess, try it for a year and see kind of the value I could get out of it. um and so for me, again, I kind of came in with some background, some
Mhm.
experience. I'd done the
You
companion
weren't you weren't
process for.
totally new to this for
I
sure.
was not totally new to this, but I was busier than before. I mean, yeah, much busier. So what has really helped me about the membership has been, so first of all, the one-on-one consults with you,
Hmm.
um, because you do know a lot about a lot of different things. So some of the things we've done together is credit card strategy,
Right.
really trying to hone in, when there's all these offers, trying to figure out where do I apply, what do I apply for. Also, your specific program, what I liked about it was that you really do emphasize just a few credit cards.
Right.
So I had kind of at times gotten lost in the weeds of like, oh, this offer sounds great. This offer
Yeah,
sounds
we
great.
all do that.
And I have gotten, since I've joined, I haven't just done, Chase and Southwest, but I just feel it's been a little more focused. Like we talk through, will this card add value for your strategy? And then I was like, okay, that will. So I went ahead and did them, but I felt more, I guess, reassured knowing that these would add value to my
Right.
strategy,
Right. Because we're not trying to overcomplicate things. We're trying
Right.
to simplify the fewest you can have and still accomplish your travel goals for your family.
Yes, yes. And that again, being busy, it kind of took a load off to realize, okay, if I have a lot of time to dedicate to this, I can really get into it, get a bunch of cards. If I don't, Lynn's really given me a simple strategy to maintain, to still be able to do some travel, even if I don't feel like I can dedicate a bunch of time to it. So
And
that's
the way, like my process is you really only need 2 to 4 cards maximum, but like Kristin's a little more advanced in this. And I do have members that are, and if they want to add to that, absolutely you can. But like you're saying, if you need to simplify or whatever, and you just want to do the minimum, because I have some members who they only want to have 1 card. And you can do it with that too. It might be take you a little longer, might be a little harder, but my ideal is in the 2 to 4 card range.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, like just knowing like if life gets busy, I don't know, it was a big, took some weight off to realize like here's a way to do this strategy without having to do a bunch, and you can kind of inch along for times in your life when you need to inch along, and you can be more aggressive at times in your life that you can be more aggressive. So yeah, I think your plan definitely accommodates a different range of kind of where you're at. um so the other big thing, I think we just talked about this, but I feel like since I've been in the program, I've gotten a lot of nudges. So it hasn't been like these maybe like epiphany, oh, I just read her blog post and now my whole strategy has changed. But the conversations with you and then an email here or this or that, it's nudged me. And I was thinking about, we took a trip to Colorado, stayed at the YMCA of the Rockies because of a tip from you or a tip from one of your emails. Um, Kind of tipped me off to the YMCA of the Rockies. And then after my conversation with you one-on-one, that led me to a more specific blogger who had some information, which led me to kind of go, wait, we need to change which campus we're staying on, which we were able to do. And then I think we had a much better trip. So again, it wasn't like you told me you need to go here and do this, but because of our one-on-ones, because of the emails, it just these nudges. And then we had a really amazing trip. In fact, I was saying all that about having little kids, probably the first trip where I started to go, you know what? I think we can start to do this, like next year, even this year, this was a good trip.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're really getting into that zone where we can take these family trips, and they're creating, my 4-year-old said that trip to Colorado was, she keeps talking about it. And that was her highlight of this year. I mean, I said something about Rocky Mountain National Park. She says, "Oh, I love Rocky Mountain National Park." And my husband, my son, my 7-year-old had some really incredible, just character building experiences in nature going on that trip. I'm so grateful for it. So, I don't know. It feels like it almost, again, as before we started talking, I was like, oh, this is kind of a byproduct. But as we started talking, I realized, no, this is the value of that membership. Is sometimes it's just kind of these helpful, streamlined, good information that's nudging you. So instead of having to do all this work, I'm like, oh, okay, that was simple. Now I've created this wonderful family experience.
And I mean, we talk about things other than flying free and travel credit cards, right? So that's a great
mm-hmm.
example of we bring in destination ideas for families and we give you tips on what to do when you're there. And we give you itineraries to different places and ideas for how to save beyond flying and even stay free in some hotels as well. So, and there's a lot, I know you and I have talked about, there's a lot of that in there, which could be overwhelming.
Mhm.
But if you approach it as, oh, okay, we're looking at Hawaii this fall, then you can look at our Hawaii content, you just can enjoy, look at what is of interest at the time, it's in there, ready for you, rather than feel like you have to watch all of the content that's in there or
Yeah.
listen to it.
And it has been very relevant. I mean, you just did Hawaii, which I'm going to, my husband and I are planning a trip at the end of this year. And you touched on national parks, or you're touching on
Mhm.
national parks, which was close to the time that we took that trip. And then Disney, which is another one that I think about, but I haven't really, but
Mhm.
it's good to know. Again, I haven't really kept up with the content this month. Was it last month? But to know that it's there. And
Right.
when I'm ready to kind of go back and delve into that, ready to plan a trip, it's available to me. That's really helpful.
Yes, absolutely. So what has your experience been working with me thus far, like in terms of the one-on-one consults, and do you feel I've been available to you as needed?
Yeah, super, super, super. And then I even just emailed you the other day about something. You got back to me really quick. So that again, that was helpful because I was trying to, yeah, just figure something out. And I guess I feel bad reaching, like bothering you, but you've made it very clear that that's what you're here for, is to be helpful. And if we've got a question, to email you. And so when we did our last one, we talked about Hawaii, we talked about this national park trip, we talked about credit card strategy. And I really got helpful tips and action items on all three of those things. And again, without having to like sort through a bunch of information.
Well, I know we talked about AllInclusives in
Yes.
Mexico too, and like that was one that my family hasn't personally done, but I have a team member who her family has done it, so we were able to connect the two of you. And that's I
Mm-hmm.
think what I'm finding that actually is a surprise to me of the membership is how I'm able to connect members in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
to help one another, because they've done this experience that you want to do and they can offer some tips, and members are very willing to do that. But anyway, so she was at least able to help you through some technical parts of booking in points these all-inclusives in Mexico.
I I will say my experience for travel with my family with the Southwest Companion Pass is a total game changer in terms of being able to travel with my family. And and I have friends who are kind of like, how do you get to go to all these places, or even anyway, family members who are not able to get credit cards, and they're frustrated because we can do all this stuff and they're not able to. But if I did not know how to do a Southwest Companion Pass, or if I was just trying to figure this all out, to join your program and to have all that content step by step, easily doable, actionable, along with basically a friend who's helping you when you run into a roadblock. I mean, so much value there. I mean, that would have saved me so much time reading through blogs, trying to figure it out, trying to get these questions answered. So if I were coming in as a newbie, like, your program is tremendous, to kind of get that ball rolling and to get you from 0 to 60 quickly without having
Right.
to spend years. Because I think a lot of us have just, like, over the years accumulate you're like accumulating bits of information, but it takes, and you make a lot of mistakes and you waste a lot of points, and as you're trying to figure it out. But with your program, you get to skip from like 0 to expert, maybe not overnight, but in the course of a few months or a
Right.
year or whatever. Yeah, traveling with the Southwest Companion Pass and understanding miles and points and the Chase Rewards program, total game changer when it comes to being able to travel and have experiences, either with my husband or as a family.
And like you mentioned the nudges, and I think that's part of too, like some people come into this via knowing some things, but they've forgotten some bits
Right,
of information. And then I'm able to say, oh, but like, did you know when you're eligible? Did you know you're eligible to close and reopen this card, for example, is a
right.
big one that a lot of people miss. And then they go, no, I had no idea. Like, I was just talking with someone over the weekend, and she'd had that, like a Southwest card for 10 years. And I was like, oh, like, here, let me make it way easier for
Right,
you.
right,
So it
right,
seems it's just little things like that that save you a tremendous amount of time. And like you
right,
said, put you on the path to taking more trips very, very quickly,
right.
um, instead of it taking another couple years or whatever. So
The other thing I do more of now since joining the membership is I do a lot more like shopping through the portal. I kind of forgot about that. But then I realized, I mean, after listening, I was like, oh yeah, there are a lot of these like little ways. I don't do as many of like the signups because again, I feel like I just don't have the time to really get into it. But even those simple things of just like checking, especially before a big purchase, like, okay, which portal do I need to use to get this? And then I was using the Southwest portal, but I didn't really need companion points. So then I was like, oh, I need to use Chase. Chase is more fun.
Right.
Anyway, those kind of things. Again, nudges, but nudges can do a lot.
Yes. Yeah. And I find that's a good example of people that, let's say, spending on Southwest cards or just earning Southwest points when they don't really need a companion pass. They already have one. And actually, it's better to use a flexible travel rewards program. And that's a big shift that a lot of people don't understand either. That really that's the key to simplicity to this whole thing. Is that because then you get flexible points and you get more points and you can use them for different purposes. And like I said, your goal for one of your goals for your family is to go international every year or two. And my program does at least focus on Europe and the Caribbean to at least get you to Europe every other year or every year, depending on the size of your family. So that's not just flying Southwest, but
Right.
accomplishing those goals too. So, all right. Any other advice for like families who are new to this? I think you just gave a great explanation of how this would be helpful in getting you up to speed more quickly. But what you would tell a family who is considering joining the membership but not sure if it's worth it or not?
Yeah, I would say if you're pressed for time and if you want to, if your kids are getting older and you don't want to spend 4 years trying to figure it out and then they're in high school and they don't want to hang out with you anymore. No, I don't know. I don't have high schoolers yet. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I've heard stories.
Yep.
So I think if you just want to get up to speed and start doing this, yeah, the cost of the membership, I mean, one trip, you've saved yourself that much money. And then along with, again, kind of the nudges and the one-on-one attention, that is a really big deal, one-on-one attention, because I think, I've tried to help friends kind of get into this. And it's just, I guess, like everything, it's easy once you understand it, but it's not easy when you're trying to sort through all the information and figure it out. So to have it all broken down into quick, easy, actionable steps, and then to have the advantage of having someone where you can go, wait, I don't understand this, or I ran into a snag, and have someone that's like you, that's done it all, like has answered so many of these questions. It's easy for you to say, oh, just do this, where an email can save you hours of searching the internet. I mean, that is a lot of value. I'm very happy about, what the program has provided. And this last trip to Colorado was just a really great illustration. My kids, it was awesome. It was just an awesome family experience.
I know. Now I want to go. I haven't been there. So
yeah, you should. It's a great place for family reunions too. Anybody's trying to plan a family reunion.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thanks so much, Kristin. Thanks everyone for listening to our bonus episode. We'll have more of these coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.